Many of us have heard this word probate. Jason, can you tell us what is probate? Why do I need it? Do I need it?
What a great question, and the most common question we get. And so basically probate is three things. It's a code, it's a process, and it's the name of a court. Okay? And it just basically is the way that the state of California and many states have decided to deal with what happens when someone dies. It's a process of going through notifying their creditors, making sure their assets are given to either their heirs if there's no will, or their beneficiaries if there's a will, making sure that public agencies get noticed that might need it. Department of Health Services is one, Franchise Tax Board is another one that need to be given notice to make sure that we basically wind up someone's affairs. Right. You need it essentially if you have any real property, if your loved one died and they had real property of any value. Now there's different types of probate and lengths and costs depending on how much the property is worth. Okay. Probate can take a year to 2 years. Probate can be 5 to 10% of the estate. It could also be a 6 to 8 week process if a piece of real property is low. Right. If any estate is worth more than $150,000, when there's some nuances of that rule, that's a good number to say. Anything above that, and we're ending up in probate court, which means one of the kids is going to have to file the petition with the court to be appointed and get the process started. But it's something we do on a monthly basis, many times a year. We've done it hundreds and hundreds of times, and we can help families with it pretty easily.
So if an estate is not in a trust, it's going to need to go to probate?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's almost exclusively all the cases that we ever work on where there's real property or where it's more than $150,000. If there's a bank account, let's say, the only asset the person had is a bank account and it's worth under $150,000, well, that may not have to go through an actual probate. You might be able to do that privately with the bank depending on the type of account. And then other accounts like life insurance, retirement accounts that have beneficiary designations, those typically also avoid probate because they're just going right to the beneficiary.
Got it. That is great information. Thank you, Jason.
Yep.